Hey guys, welcome to my review of Batman Beyond Unlimited issue number 5. Now before I get on to my review of the comic, I would like to let you guys know that I do have the code for the digital comic book for Avengers vs. X-Men round 6 or issue number 6. And if you would like it, please let me know on the comment section below. Like I said, it's first come first serve, so I apologize ahead of time if you weren't able to get it. And remember to look at the comments before actually asking, making sure that someone hasn't asked already. So just to let you guys know there. So yeah, whoever wants the Avengers vs. X-Men round 6 or issue number 6 code, please let me know down on the comments below. So yeah, let's get on to my review of Batman Beyond issue number 5. Now, as you guys already know, Batman Beyond Unlimited is doing a lot. Like in the last issue, we had 4 storylines, but now they slimmed it down to 3. In this issue, we have a Batman Beyond storyline, the continuation of Warhawk's origin story, and also we have Superman Beyond. Now, in the last issue of Batman Beyond, we had the closing end of the whole entire Mad Stan storyline, and that's about it. So now we're going to continue a new storyline. Now, if you guys are wondering, is this new storyline having to deal with the Thousand Joker War or whatever that we're all expecting and anticipating? Well, not really, not in this issue. In issue number 6, if you read the description of the cover on DC Comics website, you will actually know it's in issue number 6 where they actually start this whole entire Thousand Jokers War storyline. But in this issue, we get a little backstory or origin story to one character, which is really good, and I found enjoyable. Now, this character, I can't really tell you who he is, but I'll just give you a brief summary of what he's talking about. Now, in the opening of the issue, we actually see him, and he's monologuing about his, I think his great uncle, who actually was a murderer. He killed people before, but there was actually 2 people that he murdered that greatly affected him. Now, I'm not going to spoil who those 2 people were, but hopefully you guys can, figure this out on your own or pick up this issue and find out. Now, what happened to his nephew, or his great-nephew right here, he's basically down in the dumps. He used to work as a security guard for the Powers Company when they were running it. It was a company that the Powers took over once Bruce Wayne wasn't in charge of Wayne Technology or Wayne Towers anymore, so the Powers Company took over, and he had a security guard, and later on, well, not a security guard, but he has a his own platoon of security guards, and one of them was this man in this issue, and basically he worked his way up to actually becoming this like special patrol or squadron team called the Quiet Squad, which basically they dealt out like, I don't know, intimidating missions, or sometimes roughhousing somebody that the Powers didn't like or wanted to threaten. So that's what their job was, and that's what he did. And he didn't even question it. He thought it was okay to roughhouse people, beat them up, threaten them, intimidate them. He thought it was okay. He didn't really mind as long as he was getting the money and the paychecks that were coming in. Then he would be fine. And he used to live on this higher level of Gotham City. The higher levels are just like for like middle class and high class people, or just like people who are at least have a job to afford a decent place to stay. And then you have the lower levels where not much people are having luck with life. They're like maybe people who can just barely get by life. They live down there. So yeah, so he was living the high life. He was so happy until one mission that actually caused him to feel so depressed and regretful of what he had done in that mission that he basically fell down into the dumps of the lower level of Gotham City. Now, I'm not going to tell you what mission this was, but it does have to deal with what is in this front cover. That's all the hint I'm going to give you. If you can see this front cover, I'm going to show you. So yeah, here's the front cover. So here's Batman Beyond, and there's this guy pointing a gun. Now this is very symbolic to the reason why I won't spoil what he did. But this is basically what he did, almost to basically make himself regretful for what he has done. And that's what made him, quit his job and basically go down in the dumps. But by the end of this issue, he says maybe he should stop regretting and repent for what he has done and try to be a hero, use his security guard abilities and create this, original costume design from his security guard get-ups and whatever, and become a hero. Who knows? I actually want to see what happens. Would he actually be the one who will help Batman Beyond, or Batman in the series, fight against the Thousand Joker Wars? Or what's going to be you know, his fate in this story. Who knows? But you're gonna have to pick up this issue to read it. Next up, we have a continuation of the Warhawk origin story. In the last issue, I didn't want to spoil what happened, but they actually did find a way to actually, you know, cut off Vixen from the whole entire storyline, basically meaning that she is not alive anymore. And now, you know, now they have to basically tell us how Green Lantern John Stewart is going to get back with Shayera, the Hawk Girl. So that's what happens in this issue. We learn about Adam Strange and his home planet. He has two home planets, Earth and the one that I keep forgetting. Ron? Is that the name of the home planet, Ron? So basically, they did take in some Thanagarians until, you know, no, was it John Carter's? Basically his shadow. Remember that shadow in the Justice League animated series? He was basically John Carter's, you know, alter ego, his darkness inside his mind or heart that really wanted to be a Shire or a Hawk Girl. So basically, he framed the Thanagarians, and Adam Strange and his peoples from Ron actually fought against Thanagarians, and then later on John Carter, not John Carter, I'm thinking of John Carter because of the you know, the movie. Sorry, big mistake, not John Carter, Carter Hall. So yeah, basically Carter he turns himself in, and it's a bit graphic to what happens. They do execute him, and they did make it a bit graphic in this issue. Now, granted, Justice League the Animated Series was a kids show, or almost a kids show. Sometimes you would have some blood and some broken arms here and there in that series, but not too graphic. But it does get a bit, not too graphic in this comic, but it gets to a certain extent like, wow, that's just really, really, really kind of creepy right there. What they did to Hawkman. And so afterwards, now, you know, they have to fight against the Shadow. And so basically, you know, Shayera and John Stewart get together and they try to do what they can to fight against him with Adam Strange. And that's basically how the issue almost ends. In the end, you will see that Shayera and John Stewart do get with each other. They retire from the Justice League and they start a family. They get, you know, Shayera has Warhawk, and that's how Warhawk is born. And that's his origin story for his parents and for himself. So that's how that storyline ends. And as well as now we go into the Superman storyline. So basically Superman talks about, or he monologues about how the Earth might not need him anymore, but he might need the Earth. Now, this is interesting as in the fact that, you know, how everybody's all like worshipping Superman, like, oh, he's the greatest hero in the whole wide world, you know, he's a man of steel, he's so awesome, he can never die, we're always going to need Superman. But now in the Superman Beyond or Batman Beyond storyline, you know, we have police officers that have these like super awesome mech suits that can protect them and, you know, fight crime without Superman now. So Superman feels like he's not needed, but in a way, when he says, oh, I think I need the Earth, it's pretty interesting because then, you know, Superman was born there. His whole entire, like, his humanity, basically, is there. I mean, you can see, like, from the TV series, from Smallville, his whole entire personality, his whole entire humanity is from Earth, and he feels connected to it. And even though the Earth might not need him, he might still need the Earth to keep his humanity and his sanity intact, you know, who knows? That's kind of interesting there. And then later on, basically, he goes out and helps out some police officers, and he basically runs in with Lucinda, Lex Luthor's daughter, and she basically steals some nanotechnology to actually go give to a certain mobster now. And this mobster is actually an old villain from the Batman universe, and you will see how much he's changed over the years, and you will be surprised and shocked at who he is. But yeah, so my thoughts on this issue. Generally, it is a great issue. I mean, like I said before, Batman Beyond has been doing so much, had so many storylines, and I think this time it was a bit well balanced. Just maintaining 3 storylines is okay. I'm still hoping Superman Beyond will go into another series of its own, but as of now, Batman Beyond, the storyline right now for this origin character, which I wouldn't spoil who he is, but it was really, really interesting to read. I really love the take on this character, and it was just really awesome. I really love that storyline. As for the Warhawk origin story, the closing series, I did like how it's really, really well, like, like, to me, I think was really well told, at how they actually put Shira and Jon Stewart back together in this whole entire universe, and how they actually gave birth to, you know, Warhawk. I love that, and it was really interesting, though it was, like, you know, like I said, it's a bit graphic, I guess, in my opinion, because, you know, you don't normally see this a lot. Like, this is, looking at it as a Justice League animated series perspective, you know, it's a bit graphic because you actually do get to see the execution of not Warhawk, but Hawkman. Yeah, which I thought it was really well told, and I really did enjoy it. It was really great as a closure story to Warhawk's origin story and Jon Stewart and Shira's story. As for the Superman Beyond storyline, they didn't have a lot of story, basically, but, you know, all in all, I mean, doing 3 comic books in, or 3 series in 1 issue is a lot. It's a bit difficult, and it's a lot of work. I mean, sometimes you have to maintain which storyline do we have to focus on more. So this time they focus more on Warhawk's backstory and Batman Beyond's storyline. So sometimes, you know, it's always lacking for 1 series, depending on how good they can actually maintain it. But still, I thought this comic book was really enjoyable. I actually would give this comic book a 3.75 out of 5, because the Batman storyline is enjoyable and it was really good, and I love the origin story for this one character and how they did it. It's sort of original and sort of a copycat of something, but still, it's still good. The closure story for Warhawk's origins was really good. As for, you know, the Superman Beyond storyline, it was a bit lacking because it didn't have much, but still, it was good. So that's my reviews and my thoughts on Batman Beyond Unlimited issue number 6. It's not 6, but 5. It's a great pickup. Highly recommend you guys pick this issue up if you guys been continuing the whole Warhawk origin storyline in the last issue, or want to, you know, read up on the Batman Beyond storyline. Recommend this issue for those fans of those 2 storylines. So yeah, that's my review, and hopefully you guys like it and found it enjoyable. So see you guys.